The Stanley Parable is one of those classic video games that everyone's heard of. Everyone knows Mario, Sonic, Call of Duty, and the Stanley Parable. The game came out in 2013 to massive success and great reviews. So of course, when they announced a remake with more content, I knew I had to check it out. So thanks to a poll I put out on Discord where only one person participated, thanks Mitko, I finally have the chance to play the Stanley Parable. I'm super excited, so without any further ado, let's dive straight in.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This game became so popular because it introduced a new style of storytelling in gaming. The whole idea of the game is that there is a narrator who talks to you and you're allowed to listen to, ignore, or blatantly try and disobey.
All this time? What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Other games would take their own spin on it, like Dude Stop, with its different levels and seemingly puzzle-like gameplay, where you try to figure out how to disobey everything you're told.
Sandals are for summer, warm socks for winter.
Or There Is No Game, which takes a far more understandable puzzle trope, where the narrator is more for comedic effect most of the time.
Fixing a machine with a stamp. How logical.
Both of those games are great, with not only interesting gameplay, but also a funny narrator, and both were no doubt inspired by the Stanley Parable. However, while the narrator is a big part of those games, they still had interesting gameplay to stand on. It would be ridiculous to try to make a game with only the narrator and no gameplay, right? Right? Well, that's exactly what the Stanley Parable did. There is no gameplay other than just walking and occasionally pressing a button. So if there's no gameplay, no challenge, what's the drive to play the game? Why would anyone find this fun? It has no consistent story, gameplay, it has nothing. Well, nothing other than the narrator.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
The drive to keep going is curiosity. What will the narrator do or say next? You get to a splitting path and go down one door, but you're curious what would happen if you went down the other one. So you play again and choose the other path, getting a completely different story. The reason you go through the exact same doors with the same dialogue, walking down the same corridors, pressing the same buttons just to make one small change is because you're curious what'll happen. The game knows this too, and even that's hidden endings telling you that you should go back and try the other option.
But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop?
It's just absurd what kind of endings this game has. Like the main ending has you discover a secret mind control facility and escape, but depending on what you do, you could end up following a yellow line towards adventure or museum for the game, or even just another game entirely like Firewatch. It's just ridiculous everything you can do. And a lot of the endings are just plain ridiculous, and the game knows it. A lot of this game is filled with funny additions or things just meant to be silly. Like a broom closet you can enter and just refuse to leave, or a bug in the original game where you can get stuck by jumping off a ledge, but now has been edited where the narrator explains how it used to be a glitch, but now it's an ending.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development.
Also, in the main path, you have to enter a code on the keypad, but you have no idea what it is, so the narrator just gives it to you.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
But later, if you come back and put the code in before the narrator tells you, he gets upset and tells you to be patient.
Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
After that though, he just automatically starts putting in the code for you to save you time.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad, Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Man, I just love this game. However, nearly everything I've mentioned so far was in the original game, so what exactly does this new game add? Well, while playing, you'll find a door leading to the new content. Inside, you're shown a circle where you can jump. Boring, but hopefully there's something better. Nope. That's the end. This is pretty underwhelming, and the narrator points that out.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley?
He says he's not a fan of this new content and wants a better Stanley Parable remake, so he decides to make his own, renaming the game the Stanley Parable 2. You're able to mess around with a whole load of new random ideas, like a not-so-pointless collectible, or a bucket that's only purpose is to make you happy when you hold it. These new additions also leak into the regular areas too. Like now in the main areas, there's 5 collectibles hidden around, and you can find a conspiracy board about them in the media room that gives you hints about where they are. You're also constantly told that they do nothing and you should only collect them because it's fun to collect.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
Obviously though, due to how much they tell you this, you know it's gonna be a lie. The bucket is also added to one of the first rooms in the game, and you're allowed to pick it up and take it anywhere you want. This means nearly every ending in the game can be beaten with and without the bucket, meaning once you find the bucket, you want to replay the entire game, getting every ending again just to see what'll change. Even all of the dialogue in the game has been edited to say Stanley and the bucket, because why not?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
The main ending of Stanley escaping has instead been changed to the building refuses to let him out when he has the bucket.
Lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
Since the building itself doesn't want to lose it.
Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
I could go on and on about each and every ending, but I don't want to spoil them all. In fact, one of my favorite things about the game happens when you close and open the game a few times. But don't worry, I won't spoil what it is. Go play for yourself, or watch a Let's Play, whatever, just experience it. This is a very bizarre game, and manages to hold up not by gameplay or story, but instead by its silly moments and ability to induce curiosity. Years ago, when this game first came out, I watched Let's Plays of it, and I was amazed at how much stuff was in this game. I had no idea where the end was, and I just thought you could play forever and things would just keep happening. It filled me with wonder and curiosity. Even now, barely an adult, the game managed to fill me with the exact same feeling. This game is great, and I want anyone to go check it out if you haven't. It is worth it, I promise. But with that said, that's all I have to say. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. Fun fact, my dad did not like this game. I got him to play it just to see what ending he'd get, and he played it like 3 times. And he started over each time because he got annoyed because the game would stop him and talk because it's a dialogue game. You're supposed to listen, and he did not like that. He wanted to actually play the game and move around and stuff. So he did not have a great time. But he did think the bucket was funny, so that's good.